Is that an insect reprint over here? What's going on with that? Make sure you guys smash the living crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more awesome content. Now, if you've been paying attention to the Japanese tournament packs, I almost said OTS tournament packs. You pay attention to these Japanese tournament packs, you're going to learn something very, very quickly about these tournament packs. There's usually a major hint at what is to come. That's why when they release these tournament packs, or at least give the little cards along the way, they try to do them after some sort of major release, major reveal. That way, players don't automatically start assuming too much here and running out and going, oh my gosh, I gotta buy all these cards. Well, the last image we got, we knew everything on it except for what in the world is going on with this Shinobi insect link monster. And I'm not going to lie to you, when I first saw this, a few people were like, oh, that's kind of interesting. What in the world could we, what's going on here, Konami? Why are you doing an insect monster right now? Because, thinking about the current release of things, there's not, unless they're going to print something new for insects, there's been nothing revealed for insects. I mean, Lightsworn, Ancient Gears, we had the Skull Servant reveal. By the way, that Skull Servant reveal, I'm really genuine. I want to give a shout out to all the Skull Servant players here before we get too far into this. You guys are the genuine champs of collecting and enjoying this game, because I saw so much positive feedback from that Skull Servant reveal that so many people jumped for joy at it, and I've never seen that since Lightsworn. Well, actually, before Lightsworn, I hadn't seen hardly any of the community be too positively excited about anything, so that's two bangers back to back. So now, we reach this point that we look at this insect card and we're like, oh, baby, it's time to print the insect moneymaker. So, let's talk about the possibility of this insect support, because one thing we like to do on this channel is reach to the stars up here and go, hey, what in the world could Konami actually be doing for this? Now, I have an interesting feeling that if we, probably going to be maybe a lore tie-in, and this is, I think, the more interesting thing, because remember, we just got Goblin support, and up until this point, I mean, your Goblin support was just, what, big, giant attackers, Goblin Attack Force, Goblin Defense Squad, Goblin Elite Attack Force. That was, when you thought of goblins, it was what, the Goblin Normal Monster, Goblin Calligrapher, or whatever its name was. Little Goblin, right? And little splashes of Goblin. Oh, and the Pot of Greed looking Goblin guy that was involved in that lore that always got, bullied and stuff. Those were, your major things, but we never really had a generic archetype to kind of bridge the overall theme of goblins together, and that's what the Diabellstar lore gave us. Obviously Diabellstar's out here. I don't know what is Diabellstar's actual canon lore. The first time we see her out here, she's rolling around, she's fighting a Durgan, and then next time she's bullying some goblin bikers. So the biggest tie-in that we're thinking here is the next part of the lore is going to be an insect archetype, and I would be super excited for this, to be honest with you, because when you're thinking about this, okay, so insects, B-Troopers were the closest thing that we have ever had in the game to being a way to unify insects. Way before that you had Insectors, and we had Insectors when the Create a card, back in 2020. Konami, please do that again, by the way. Granted, it was an absolute train wreck, but you got the player base super excited for the potential that a new card could get made for what they're looking for. That'd be really nice. So it would really help players out along the way. But post Insectors up to B-Troopers, you had a couple of splashable things beyond that, but that's really about it when you think about insects. in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! Oh, except for Weevil Underwood's Cocoon of Evolution garbage, Insect Imitate, and I guess like, well, the ultimate perfectly great moth. Oh yeah, Mitsu was a card. I forgot about the Insect Ninja. Okay, well, having one off for, you know, insects is kind of, it's not like the greatest thing in the whole wide world. But insects have really, they've missed out on a lot of opportunity. You know, you can print one good insect monster. That's fine. I mean, Resonance Insect was the crazy back in the day. You know, there were ways that you could bridge that gap with that insect support because of, you know, Resonance Insect existing. But they need a more generic way to do things. So what better way than to pull up the Diabellstar lore here, go, all right, print an insect archetype. I don't care what it does. It's just got to copy the formula for goblins, which means either the ability to search for a specific insect. I don't think we have an insect rota just yet, right? Like, thinking about that, you know, we could use something that could search for a level 4 lower insect monster. And I think that people would lose their... Actually, does that save the insect arc? Does that save the entirety of insects in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! If we printed a once per turn search for a level 4 or lower insect monster? Like, does that do it? Because that'd be an excellent way to kind of get, you know, our foot in the door here and get this going. Biggest things to consider out here, though, if you are thinking that this signals new insect support, you know, obviously, or, you know, a generic tie-in with lore, because if it ends up not being a lore tie-in and it ends up just being some side card that they're printed, I have a feeling they'll eventually come back to insects and go, hey guys, you know, it's time. Things to really consider are going to be a lot of the B-Trooper generic cards. I mean, B-Troopers had some of the coolest Link monsters that you could have ever actually printed for insects as a whole. But the problem is like, once again, like B-Troopers as a whole, they always felt like they were 1 to 2 cards short at the end. And then Konami did the very Konami thing and went, all right, we're done. That's it. We printed everything that we're going to for insects. Everybody looking around like, what's up with this half-assed archetype, you know? Why'd you do this? And I feel like that's the way with all of the TCG exclusive archetypes as of late. That's an entirely sub-topic here. But all of them always feel incomplete, you know? They're always leaving you with something to be desired. And I think in the more modern era, if you're lucky and X generic support does get printed, you're typically in a good position, in my personal opinion. And that usually ends up being a good thing, you know. Lore tie-in decks, especially in the current era, feel a lot better than they could potentially be. So, overall, pay attention to a lot of the insect stuff in the market right now. A lot of your B-Trooper things are going to be major things to consider. I don't know how I feel about the Cocoon of Evolution stuff. I don't feel like that would be the... I don't think they're going to tie in another anime characters deck with something for lore. Now, obviously, if they create something like an insect searcher, then yes, that would be a different story. That's fine. Like an overall searcher that could help things out along the way or turbo through things is always welcome. But if you're expecting, you know, Insect Queen to suddenly work with, you know, something potentially new, very, very highly unlikely. But B-Trooper having a chance to work, though, that's a different side of canon events that we'll have to wait and see how it goes. But from now, I'm keeping my eyes on insect stuff. I see potential here. And if it just ends up being one card instead of something more major, well, you know, that's what happens in the world of take a gander and guess. You know, you've always got this sort of thing in the game where, you know, high risk, high reward, it would appear. So, what do you think? Leave a comment down below, tell me what you guys think. I'll see your beautiful faces back here in the day, guys. Peace. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.